who watch the show, and if you could convey the thanks that I have for them, that we all have, for watching the Oprah Winfrey Network, for tuning into this show and these shows, all four of them, as a matter of fact. I just wanted to be here personally to say how much I appreciate it and say thank you to all of you for the support that you've shown us. And if you could just pass the word on to them, how much we love, we appreciate, respect, and thank them for making this show be what it is. I mean, the network's not even 5 years old yet, right? It's like
we just turned 5 on January 1st.
January 1st, just turned 5 years old. And to be experiencing this kind of success and this kind of kindness from the audience has been beyond moving. So that's all I want to say. I'm very grateful to Discovery and David Zasloff and Oprah Winfrey and the team that she's put together. There is no way I could have the success that we're having there now, none of us, without Oprah inserting herself as CEO, putting things in order, working very closely to make sure that this show not only worked, but that the network worked and was there to support it. So thank you, Eric, thank you, Sherry, thank you, everybody over at OWN who has grabbed this thing and made sure that it works. So all of you, I'm very grateful and thankful. What you texting? I know who you texting with the gold phone? What's yours?
I'm tweeting your things to everybody.
You're tweeting every day?
I promise.
What kind of phone is that?
It's an iPhone.
Why is it gold? Oh, go ahead. I feel like you know something new. I gotta find out. I missed my Christmas. All I see is bling bling up here in the front row.
So we're going to kick it off with any questions from the audience. I did want to start off with a question. So this is a milestone for both shows at this point on the Oprah Winfrey Network. How has each show evolved? I think things are intensifying. Love Thy Neighbor, you have some storylines that are starting to be a little bit more risque than before. What is new and how are these shows evolving?
Well, what's amazing about this is we're about to cross 100 episodes for both of these shows. And that is insanely wonderful. And to hear, I'm going to turn this around because I'm on my back. But what's so great about it is that you start one way, and then the characters dictate where they want to go and how they want to go. And me as a writer, I've said this before, I don't have a writer's room. I write all the shows myself. 91 episodes a season, I'm sitting there at the computer writing because I want the voice to be authentic so that the audience is hearing from me and not other writers. There are a lot of other shows on the air that are fantastic shows, but they have writers' rooms. You know, people that we love the most only write 1 or 2 episodes a season. So as I'm writing, the characters themselves are telling me which way they want to go. And if you look at a show when it first starts, any show when it first starts, the first episode you go, is this going to be? And then by the time you get to the 5th or 10th episode, you see the characters start to gel, and you really start to believe them, and you start to settle in. And that's what's happened with both these shows. I mean, by episode 15, 16, we had settled in. Byron, back there eating in the middle of, can you mind step to the side because you distracted me walking across food with your food. My barber back there just chomping on some chicken. Man, can you finish what I'm saying? So I think the characters have evolved, and the show. There's no short of business. The characters have evolved, and the show has evolved just as it organically should have over time, just as most shows do. Where we started from and where we are now, man. I mean, you look at Veronica having one line, Angela having 1 or 2 lines in the first show. I didn't know she was going to turn out to be this person, this character who's sleeping with Benny and burning down houses, but I love the madness of it. I love the insanity of it. And I always knew Hattie would be funny and crazy, but to watch her be this kind of grandmother and show some love at times, it's been awesome. It's been awesome. I'll keep my answer short. Sorry, Byron distracted me.
He's gone.
And who's going to have the next question? Who are you going to give the next question to? Okay, cool.
Hi, everyone. I'm Joy Marie from ABC News. And I have a question for Mr. Perry. I bought your DVDs. My mom would bring them home way back in the day.
Ooh, Liz. I appreciate it. Thank you.
We're from Baltimore. We don't bootleg. Anyway, but I
never do that in Baltimore.
Never. But I have a question about just your repertoire of work. It's so interesting to me that you always bring the Tyler Perry Presents. And I wonder why you do that aside from the obvious branding reasons.
That is the reason, the branding. Very early on, when I started doing these plays and these live shows, I would travel from city to city, and there were a million shows out there. Mama this, and daddy this, and sister this, and the beauty shop this, and the barber shop this. So I wanted to step out among it. So I started putting my name above the title. And I remember having this conversation with one of the promoters where I got to a city and my name wasn't on the marquee. It just said, I know I've been changed. I was like, you gotta put my name on the marquee. And we had this argument about it. He said, who do you think you are? Who do you think you are? But even then, when nobody knew my name, I had an idea to build a brand. And if you're going to build a brand, then people have to recognize that brand. And when they see that brand, they have to get what they expect from the brand. Like when you buy Coca-Cola, you don't taste Pepsi. So I was always aware of it. When you go to Disney, you know it's about kids. So that's what it's been about for me. So the Tyler Perry Present, it's never been about ego. It's never been about, look at me, know my name. It's been about, I want this brand to be identified with this kind of entertainment.
Also, it's proper etiquette in theater to actually put the author's name first. And then people talk about that all the time.
Is that right? I didn't know that.
Yeah, I'm trying to tell that's actually proper etiquette.
Arthur Miller, got it. Okay, Arthur Miller, okay.
Hello everyone, my name is Shannon Lanier, host of Arise Entertainment 360, and for the amazing cast on the stage, I want to get you in here from you a little bit. Tell us what the energy is like on set, because it seems like you guys have so much fun, and do you all gel together after everything's over? Do you go out together? Do you hang out? What's that like as well?
Absolutely, that's our neighbor.
I'm telling you, Mama had his chest club down with the rest of Rack City all day long.
Yeah, and I text Tyler to Tyler, hey, I'm about to slay one. What you want to do? How you want to handle it? I mean, I can go ahead, we can learn the script, but afterwards, I'm going to have to shut it down. So, but but we have the most fun because we it's almost like Tyler just he just handpicked each and every one of us. It's like he knew our spirits, he knew we would gel, and that's exactly what happened on script, off script. I mean, just wherever we are, we could take vacations together. We have a ball. We enjoy what we do, even when we are on vacation. We run lines. We're just enjoying each other's time. I think we gel, and that's why it's so awesome on screen.
We love crab legs.
And we're the same.
We share that.
We're, Has and Have-Nots is the same. And we also really enjoy the cast of Love Thy Neighbor too. We have a great time together when we're together. We go out, hang out after we are done filming. We just really, really love one another. We're there for the highs and lows of one another's lives. And when there are losses, we show up for each other. But I believe that kind of thing, it really starts from the top. And so Tyler Perry promotes that at the studio. He's the same way. I giggle every time he refers to my character like it was me that burned down the house when he wrote it. But he's like, yeah, you started burning down the house. But yeah, so he promotes that kind of environment. And so we all just kind of fall in line, and we all love one another a whole lot. You can feel that love when you come to the studio.
That's true. That's true.
But it's also hard work. It's wonderful hard work. I liken it to doing the New York Times crossword puzzle with a Sharpie. You are committed. You get in there, or you should be. You are committed to whatever the task is at hand. And a lot of times we do go out and have a wonderful time before we start a season and after we finish a season. But during, there is no time because we work a lot of hours and we sleep like a box of rocks. Not together, but we sleep well, not everybody.
You don't get much sleep at all.
Yeah, a couple of them who become boyfriend and girlfriend. Yeah, but I want to say this about it as well. Just as so you can have a reference and idea of how hard we work. You know, a show like Scandal or a show like Empire, it takes them a week and a half to shoot one episode. Their budget is almost 5 times what we have to spend on an episode. We shoot an episode in a day and a half, so we are moving nonstop. So you have to come to set ready to go, and that's why I love these people. That's why I love working with theater actors and people who've been around this a long time. We all we all come together and we have to do it, and they get it right away. And then for the sitcoms, they are doing 3 and 4 episodes in 2 days. So it's a different hush. It's a different it's a different kind of experience, because in Hollywood, one sitcom takes 7 days to shoot. Well, I just started a whole different system. I went out to LA and I saw the way things are done. I was like, there's another way to do this without killing everybody, and we managed to do it very well.
We have been. We did, but we have been.
Hi, Yolanda Sanguini from Essence, and I want to ask a question about celebrity and social responsibility. This morning on Essence.com, we were talking about Tamir Rice's mother saying that, you know, LeBron James should speak up for her son. And I want to ask everyone up there, Mr. Perry and Mr. Schneider and Ms. Robinson, everyone else, how do you feel? Do you feel a responsibility, as, you know, because of your platforms? Do you feel a responsibility to address issues like Black Lives Matter? And will we be seeing these issues on the show?
Well, let's do one thing at a time. Let's talk about the Black Lives Matter and those kind of issues. For me, I would say this in this room, and this is a bit off subject, but I want you to get it. I want you to hear it. I love to be more have a more intimate fight when it comes to civil rights and helping people in those kind of situations, like Black Lives Matter. There is a man named Terrence Williams and another man named Felipe Santos that I've been fighting for years. Were put into the back of a deputy squad car named Steve Culkin, and both of them disappeared. One was a Mexican immigrant, and the other one was a black man with a history of being in jail, and no one had ever would give his mother any press when she went to try to find out what happened to them. So I prefer to be on the front lines in that sense of things that move me in that way. I think it's just as powerful as being a part of something like the Black Lives Matter. But what is important to me is that someday that even these 2 men that I've been fighting for, who disappeared almost 12, 14 years ago now, maybe 15, is that what's important to me is that they have a voice, someone like me who can speak up and say, hey, you know, when I call mainstream press, I'm told, well, your victims aren't sympathetic. It's like, what does that mean? Well, this one's been to jail. The other was an illegal immigrant from Mexico. So I go down to Florida and I put up a $100,000 reward for any information, anything I can do to help. That's where I'd like to take my fight. As far as that being on the, well, thank you, I appreciate it. As far as that being those kinds of things like Black Lives Matter, the being topical, being on the show, I shoot too fast to stay current of what's going on. My shows right now, this year is already done. We're working on 2017 now. Yeah, so we're that far ahead in how we shoot. So it's very difficult for me to be timely in my messages unless it's some sort of prophetic thing that happens, which has happened in the past. Yeah, and where we find ourselves dropping a show right at the time of something going on socially. So, and as far as LeBron, I am not a social person, social media person. I'm not I don't know what's going on unless somebody tells me. Some people have to, I write and work so much, people have to stop me and say, did you know this happened? Which is how I like to live my life, because I'd rather focus on the good that I'm trying to put out than what's going on in everybody else's heartache and hardship. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
How you doing? This is Jason Robinson with The Hot Zone, and I have a question for you, Tyler. You were saying that you don't have a writer's room, and you do, all of your writing. The shows are so dynamic, they're very different, and they're very fun. How do you keep up the creativity in your writing and don't suffer the writer's block? How do you keep it creative and different and keep it evolving?
What's great about it is when you're writing from people like this, who are tremendously talented, number one, you can throw anything at them. But their characters, like for me, I know this is gonna sound crazy, but please don't write Tyler Perry schizophrenic. This is how I write. I sit in a room and I literally, as I'm sitting at the computer, I can hear these people talking. The only thing that's difficult for me is to force one show out of my head and those characters so that Eddie doesn't end up sounding like Jim, or that Mama Hattie doesn't sound like Angela, which in a way they kind of do. But yes, they are. It's just the madness of the character.
Well, I was
Right, but I mean, if you look at the characters themselves and the shows themselves, they are very different. I don't think people even give credit to how different each show is, and I'm glad you said that, because the pleasure that I take is at being at work for the actual characters themselves. they're dictating to me, man. So the minute they stop talking, then we have a problem. Yeah.
Good afternoon. I'm Sharia Jackson. I'm also with Essence. I'm also an Atlanta native, so thank you for the thousands of jobs and the millions of dollars you put into the community. Also, you've been such incredible artists to work that many of us have never heard of. So I would love for each of you to share. When did you realize you were famous?
Well, you
I guess just now.
before.
I guess, what was that question?
When did you realize you were, like, people know you, like from the show, you're on Oprah's network, like when did you realize you were a
Going through the airport is always a very interesting thing for me, because what I get invariably is men saying, you know, my wife made me watch that show.
Yeah.
And now I can't put it down. Now I've got to TV. You know how hard I work, and I've got to watch that show. I've got to DVR that show every week. You rascal. It's really quite wonderful. Back in the old days, I knew something was going on. The mark of celebrity was you were an answer in a TV Guide crossword puzzle. And with a name like Bo, you know, they use that pretty often. So it's wonderful. It's a wonderful experience, and now having it all over again is delightful. I did not expect that to happen after 50. Never saw it coming.
I still haven't realized it, but I'm reminded on a daily basis when people come up and yell at me, and they say I need to treat my son better and all of those things. But I tend to go. My husband is a great reminder, because I can head out to the grocery store with a baseball hat and no makeup, and he'll stop me and say, "You want to see that on Instagram? You might need to do something." But I think it's just, I'm forever grateful. I'm never offended if anybody wants to stop and take a picture or yell at me, because I'm so grateful for the opportunity. I'm so grateful for the people that watch the show, that make it a hit. I'm so grateful to this man for giving me the opportunity, for believing that I could do the role. I'm just so grateful, and I love it. I love the people that really yell at me. I just laugh the whole time they're yelling, and then they stop and go, yeah, I know it's just a show. So
After you've been stabbed.
So all of it is just the ride and the time of my life. So I don't really think about it in terms of, oh, when did you're a celebrity now. I just think about it as a working actor. It's a gift, and it's a wonderful gift that I am enjoying the ride, and I'm going to continue to enjoy it for as long as I can.
I think I still haven't, it hadn't hit me, but I do appreciate the fact that I can call my boss man with anything, and I'm gonna try not to tear up, because this man has been there for me from day one, and it was as if we knew each other when we met. It's like we were together in a past life, and I don't know, but all I know is when he writes, it's almost as I can hear what he's about to say next, and he can hear me, and it's just like we were meant to meet, and we were meant to go on this journey together, and he's helped me. He's helped me, he's called me, he's calmed me down, and he's helped me stay on the path. And I may not ever know rightfully in my mind that I am famous, and I just don't even think that like that. I just enjoy what I'm doing. I enjoy the work. I enjoy the blessings of God, and I just keep on the path, and I stay on this journey, and I continue to want to rise and do bigger and better things.
It goes to the church from that whole.
Amen. Amen.
I would say that Mr. Perry has actually saved me quite a bit of money, because I can't go and walk